Katy Perry was quoted as saying, "We're putting the ass in astronauts."
I don't like that people are calling it a ride.
Like Gail said, this wasn't a ride. It was a journey, and it was a supernatural one.
Doing a lot of inner space work to go to outer space.
Katy Perry thought the trip was important for humanity and for women.
I'm going to tell you something right now. You are officially an astronaut.
Thank you so much.
Katy Perry always knows how to turn a Tuesday into a cosmic cliffhanger, but even the juiciest tabloids were not prepared for the aftershocks rippling from her 11-minute Blue Origin joyride. While fans fought in the comments over whether the pop queen's metallic jumpsuit was high fashion or high farce, an unexpected voice cracked the silence, and it was a voice that knows Katy better than any publicist, stan account, or meme generator ever could, her older sister Angela.
You look at it and you go, wait a second, we're all on this planet. This is it. And I was like, we have one planet.
According to a leaked voice note allegedly sent to a longtime family friend, Angela did not just congratulate her sibling for touching the stars, she practically sounded the alarm, confessing that she and the family spent the night before the launch pacing an Airbnb kitchen in West Texas, wondering if Katy would blast off as a conqueror or come back fractured beyond repair. "We're all worried," she reportedly said, her tone thin as tracing paper. She's smiling for the cameras, but she keeps whispering that the stars feel safer than the spotlight. Those words alone would be enough to send gossip channels into orbit. Yet, as more fragments trickled out, screenshots, secondhand quotes, even a grainy clip of Angela wiping tears during what looks like a FaceTime call.
Let me tell you right now, Katy, you're officially an astronaut.
An entirely different story took shape. Maybe this sparkly feminist milestone was less about empowerment and more about escape. Insiders claim Katy's entire pre-flight week was dotted with farewell gestures, cryptic voice memos to old friends, a midnight visit to a childhood church just outside Santa Barbara, even an emergency rewrite of her will to include a stack of handwritten letters labeled "Open If." A stylist who prepped her silver flight suit swears Katy paused during fittings, stared at her reflection, and murmured, "If I disappear up there, at least they'll remember the outfit."
It was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now.
Yeah. What were her findings? That's my question.
Well,
what
she
did
brought
she
a
learn?
Daisy, which is super important. It shows you how quick the flight was. The dead Daisy that's like snipped from its life source was still alive or still vibrant.
Yeah, and it's always
Shout out Daisy.
Wow.
Another crew member recalls finding a weathered Bible and a Polaroid of two gap-toothed girls on a carousel tucked into her personal flight pouch. Katy and Angela circa 1990, when life smelled like county fair cotton candy, and the word Grammy meant nothing beyond grandma's living room carpet. If you think that is sentimental but harmless, think again. Family sources tell Page 6 that Katy's late-night text to Angela bordered on existential. Will they still roast marshmallows in heaven? She allegedly typed at 2 in the morning, followed by a crying, laughing emoji no one found funny. And here is where the emotional freefall begins. From the outside, the Blue Origin launch looked like a big-budget publicity Valentine to female empowerment, Katy Perry, Gayle King, Lauren Sanchez, a dash of philanthropy, a pinch of girl power, and a sponsorship deck thicker than a law textbook.
6 celebrity women, including Gayle King, Katy Perry, and Lauren Sanchez, who is the plastic fiance of Jeff Bezos, took a Blue Origin rocket into space on a trip that lasted from takeoff to touchdown less than 12 minutes in total.
But Angela's take shreds that glossy facade. She says Katy felt pressured to secure one last headline that wasn't about flop ticket sales, aging in pop, or divorce rumors. The space seat was offered, and management allegedly framed it as a public relations jackpot. "It will refresh the brand," one unnamed executive gushed. Yet Angela insists Katy privately feared the opposite, that she would be lampooned for spending billionaire pocket change to play astronaut while fans drown in rent and student loan statements. That fear, Angela claims, triggered something. Dark, insomnia, panic breathing, and a round of therapy sessions so intense Katy installed blackout curtains and soundproof foam in her Bel Air studio to muffle what she called thought quakes.
Whoever came up with this title, give this guy a freaking raise. Tell me how this is not awesome. Astronaut. Astronaut.
If you are shaking your head at the melodrama, remember the Perry family origin story. These are children of Pentecostal pastors who could not say the word lucky because it reminded their mother of Lucifer. They once called deviled eggs angeled eggs. Growing up, the concept of drifting above the Kármán line inside a phallic rocket emblazoned with logos might count as either a miracle or a blatant bargain with cosmic vanity. Angela allegedly confessed that their parents were more nervous than proud, half hoping the flight would get scrubbed so they would not have to field well-meaning church ladies asking if Katy met any aliens. But the launch stayed on schedule, so Angela flew to Van Horn, Texas, clutching Daisy Dove's scribbled stick figure drawing of Auntie Katy in space, ready to smile for the live stream, until she read the final text from her sister that morning. If I fail to stick the landing, tell Daisy she can have all the glitter costumes.
However, there's been some critics saying some stuff in it.
Really?
Rob, I don't know if you have any of the critic stuff or not. Do you have any of this stuff on how they open a door first and then they have to reopen the door and they have to say, go back in there, and then Jeff Bezos falls. Poor guy's tripping. He's having a hard time.
When Angela plays that voice note for the unnamed confidant, you can reportedly hear her smother a sob. Let that sink in before you scroll away. Beneath every triumphant headline about female pioneers and giant leaps for womankind, there may have been a family reckoning in real time. A sister calculating whether she was about to watch a stunt or a send-off. And once the flight ended, smooth touchdown, triumphant ground kiss, flashbulbs popping, Katy plastered on the megawatt grin. But Angela says the relief lasted less than 3 minutes. Back in the private dressing trailer, Katy's hands allegedly shook so hard she spilled champagne on a NASA logo pastry. A marketing rep chirped, "Take the gratitude selfie, Katy," and the pop star reportedly hissed, "Give me a second, I'm still breathing." Angela's leaked voicemail claims that later that evening, during the after party, her sister stood on the deck beneath desert stars and whispered, "Thought it would fix me. It didn't."
And real astronauts are extremely intelligent scientists who've been tested to the limits of their physical and mental fitness. But this was really not women in space. It was stupid people in space. This was the lowest IQ space crew that has ever been launched from Earth.
Now pause and imagine the YouTube comments if that clip ever surfaces. Was Katy Perry's space hop a glitter-coated cry for help? Did we just witness the most expensive midlife crisis in pop music history? Type your theories below. And while you are at it, tap that like button harder than a rocket booster ignition so the algorithm knows we should keep digging. Remember, you make this channel's engines roar louder than Blue Origins. Angela's alleged revelations keep spiraling. She says the media narrative calling the flight a landmark moment for female astronauts made Katy cringe because, in her words, real astronauts train for years. I trained for 80 minutes in a Zoom briefing and a blood pressure check. She reportedly begged the PR team to dial down the empowerment angle, fearing it would overshadow women who actually traveled to the International Space Station for months. The team refused, and Angela claims that is why Katy looked tense at the press conference. She was watching headlines spin out in real time and cursing the monster she helped create. She doesn't mind being a clown, Angela supposedly said, but she hates being a fraud.
I have no doubt that it was a cool experience. It's a shame then that it was wasted on a woman with the wisdom and intellectual depth of a newborn poodle.
Let's not forget the social backlash. Overnight, where Space Karen trended on X, memes compared Katy's ground kiss to a telenovela fainting spell, and a viral TikTok stitched Sister Catherine's old plea, yes, the nun who died during that convent lawsuit, with Katy's triumphant touchdown captioned "From court to Kármán line, she always lands on her feet." Angela reportedly begged Katy not to open her phone. Katy opened it anyway. Cue another sleepless night and a management-sanctioned digital detox that lasted exactly the time it takes to heat a microwave burrito. By dawn, Katy was on Threads, liking fan art of Left Shark in space and posting a peace sign emoji that critics called tone deaf. Angela allegedly texted, "Maybe sit this news cycle out." Katy texted back a single word, "Orbit." By week's end, Angela finally cracked.
Katy Perry, in other words, had certainly set the bar high for herself. She was so insufferably stupid and ditzy before the flight that everybody wondered if she could come up with anything even dumber when she landed.
In that leaked voice note, she says, "We are all proud. We just want her safe." She describes their parents pleading with Katy to rest, Orlando Bloom urging her to retreat to their Montecito house, Daisy Dove waving a cardboard rocket shouting, "Mama go boom again." But Angela's tone is haunted. I keep picturing her outside the capsule, looking at Earth, thinking she could float away and never hear another headline. The confession lands like a mic drop dipped in kerosene. Suddenly, the Blue Origin flight is no longer the shiny story of glitter, girl power, and Bezos bucks. It is a tension wire between celebrity spectacle and silent breakdown.
It was so dumb. It was such a waste of time. It was so anti-feminist.
So where does that leave us? Katy is supposedly holed up in a wellness, retreat in Ojai, meditating, sipping beetroot lattes, and practicing earthing with a barefoot shaman. Angela, sources claim, regrets the leak but insists the truth was going to surface anyway. Meanwhile, Blue Origin's next celebrity manifesto chugs along, promising more female empowerment, more zero-gravity selfies, more press kits. Commentators wonder if Katy will ever address her sister's claims, or if the world will roll onto the next outrage cycle before she even drafts a Notes app apology. Either way, one question now hovers over every sparkly Instagram reel. Was this suborbital hop a crown jewel in Katy's pop culture tiara, or the glitter-soaked warning, flare of a star exhausted by her own gravity? While you process that existential meteor strike, remember to subscribe so you never miss the next celebrity saga we excavate from the cosmic dumpster fire of Hollywood. And tell us in the comments, do you believe Angela's story? Or is this just another chapter in the ever-expanding mythos of Katy Perry? Is our pop queen spiraling or simply reinventing? You decide, we investigate. Hit like, share this with the friend who still blasts Teenage Dream at karaoke, and keep your notifications on because tomorrow we might uncover why another A-lister is supposedly buying a bunker in New Zealand. Until then, stay curious, stay skeptical, and if you ever feel the urge to escape your problems in a rocket, maybe call your sister first.